Alright. Let's go. Hello everyone in chat, even though Twitch is telling me that there is no one in chat, which is obviously false. I don't even know what it does though. Might as well. I don't know, I can handle it. Alright, anyways, let's get started. Depth of field makes things blurry far away. Oh, I should probably not have it on then. So that's actually useful to know. Any other ones that I might that might help? While we're this is still the point where people are tuning in and I'm kind of waiting until we get a bit more people. Weather plus light shafts. So what does... So I need to turn these off, alright. I like weather effects though. Having them all off except transparent goalposts makes input lag feel better. Seems fair. I like these though. I think I'll try this. Even though I have no idea what exactly it does. Like, I don't notice. Do you want to be blinded by the sun? Keep light shafts. Alright, I do not like being blinded by the sun, so how about I don't? It's all about getting to 250 FPS. I'm scared to click that link. I have no idea what I'm doing. I mean, it's not. You're not wrong, Kieran. You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. If you can turn it on without dropping to 249, go for it. Otherwise, leave it off. I don't think I'd get 249, to be honest. I generally have no idea. Like, I could be getting 249 easily, and but I wouldn't know. Oh, I clicked the link again. Feels bad, man. Alright. I'm sure it's safe. Yeah. With Kieran, you never know. Turning them off will help you tornado flick more consistently. Alright, well, I'll keep that in mind once I start tornado flicking. Alright, anyways, let's move on. Let's move to the first replay, shall we? Get this party started. Fair warning. Oh, this is one of the first, like, decently leveled threes games that I've analyzed. The higher frame rate you get, the nearer the frame displayed when the screen refreshes is less input lag. Yeah, oh, no, I know that. But I mean, what, this is like diamond, right? Or do I have them confused? Were you the plat one? I have one diamond one and one plat one, and then another diamond one if I run out. I mean, don't we all? Alright, anyway. So this is your perspective. It's threes. Let's see what happens. So playing Dominus, I like playing Dominus or like flat cars in general in threes, although I prefer Batmobile. Alright. So I'm not sure how much I like the flip here, because it just puts you forward, like you're just kind of committing to this play, and it shoots to the side. So this is not your ball anymore, in my opinion. In my opinion, you should leave whoever's cheating, which should be your teammate here, who I think he decided to stay in goal. Let me check what he did. Yeah, so this guy should have been going for, like, to be fair, he should have been cheating up, and you should be going for boost. But if you're cheating up, then he should be going for boost, and this is his ball at this point. So he just waits. Now you're in a weird spot. Oh, you actually do get the ball though, which is nice. It would have been way worse if you lost it, but let's see that one more time. So both of your teammates are up, so you want to be a bit more conservative here. One of your teammates has just gone for the ball, and one of them is still in the air, or is recovering. So if you can, you want to try and take a touch here that's going to be a bit more delaying, like a bit more controlled, so that you allow your teammates to recover and even rotate properly, right? So you smashing this ball away like that doesn't really do anything. If there was someone waiting for them in midfield, which you couldn't know, this would have just been an easy clear, and from there on you're on defense, right? Which is the opposite of what you want. You want to clear this ball away. So next time that you get into a situation like this, you want to try and get a bit more of a controlled touch. So again, look at how far away they are. If we just go to, what is even camera, please? Alright, so if we go to fly, just look at, you take this hit, right? Just look at if someone would be right over here. Or probably right, a bit more over here. He just shoots this at net. You have one guy back. That guy in your corner is probably going to commit as well, right? So you have two people committing, and then it's just you on defense, right? So pay attention to that. Don't just boom the ball away just because you can. And I know chat is going to disagree with me on that, because chat loves boomers, but just don't do that. Booming the ball away like that is what is costing you goals, and it in fact did cost you a goal here. Like, had you, well, to be fair, that's two things. You not realizing that you should have been rotating back, and also you just giving them the ball and giving them possession again, right? So this goal is on you. You make two mistakes. The first one was booming the ball away. Is the music really too loud? Again, it's not showing that loud. It's like on the very, very lowest. How is it now, Silent? Just let me know. I think you're a little quiet. Alright. That is something I can work with. Alright, just tell me how this is. I've got desktop audio a bit lowered now. Should probably, you know, invest in some audio, like getting audio software that I can use. But anyways. So this goal is on you. Both for not realizing you should go back and you booming the ball away and giving your opponents the ball. That's the two mistakes that you made that led to this goal. So this didn't need to be a goal. Right, so if I just tab it back in. And then your teammates are just horrible at reacting to this and give up the goal. So there were things that they could have done to prevent that. Didn't go back. Oh, a little bit. I think it's right here. So as soon as you make this touch, you should realize that one of your teammates is coming for this because you can see him. And your other teammate should be around goal. So there's no one from your team coming. So you should have realized this. And as soon as you jump down, you should have realized and rotated back. Like right here, you should be flipping towards goal. And you hover around, and this is where you flip. Right? So you would have just been in position to save this shot had you gone back immediately. Had you not hoped for a hit. Don't hope for a hit. If you don't know if a hit is coming, then don't go for the, like, don't pray for it, is basically my philosophy when it comes to solo standard. When you're solo queuing standard or solo standard, don't go for stuff that you don't know someone is going for. Just play really, really safe, and that way you'll probably end up making the right decision most of the time. Also, whey protein. This is a fine area to request it. I do recommend you send me the replay through Discord though, because that's just easier for me to manage. So this is where you should have gone back earlier. Had you been back immediately instead of waiting 1 or 2 seconds, you know, it would have been fine and you wouldn't be scored on right now. So that's something to keep in mind. That should have been a shot on net. So that's just a little mechanical mistake. But here you didn't really read the bounce. So once you see this, you want to take a bit of a wider line, right? You had the time. You saw no one was challenging this. Like, again, that guy just left his goal. Like, if this shot was on target, that would have been a goal right there. So this is 1-1, right? We're even to 1. So that guy wasn't challenging that because he didn't know how it was going to bounce. So if you're going to get this hit, take a wider line because there's no one challenging. You have all the time in the world. You could have set up pressure here. Instead, you get this touch and then you kind of don't know what to do with yourself and you lose the ball again, right? So have a plan and take a wider line when you can. Look at your screen. I guess the advice that I should give you, also don't drive backwards like that, is don't stop looking at your screen and look at who is challenging the ball and who is in contention for the ball. Because this, for example, situation doesn't happen in that case, right? You shouldn't even be thinking about going for this that way. You should have been back already and been in that spot to, like, predict that. That's pretty bad. You don't need to waste this boost. He has this. Like, the only thing you're doing now is you're decreasing the amount of angles that you're covering on the field, right? If someone comes in from blue team right now, they get a 50-50 on you, but they don't really lose anything, because that's 2 of your players in the same spot, right? So you don't want to commit to this purely to give your teammates space here. You going in for this is just straight up like making this a 2v3, because now you have you and the player that you're right next to And if they get it over you, then your last remaining teammate is in a 1v3 situation on defense, right? And that's bad. So you don't want that happening. So this is really, 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 really bad. This is like stuff that you should never, never, ever do, especially not in threes. In threes, it's so much more important to cover more of the field rather than covering. It's much more important to cover more of the field than it is to get a hit in. Like, you're fine if this gets cleared back, that's fine, as long as you're still covering that part of the field, and you can just get a clear again, right? Right now, you're transitioning, so don't mess it up by doing this kind of stuff, because this screwed it up completely for your teammate, who was out of boost here. And now they just get this. You can't challenge that because it's bad if your teammate goes as well. And now you're back on defense again, right? You got lucky with a bad shot there. And again, pretty bad spot. Double commit. That's not good. There was no one there to take the shot, luckily. It's quite nice for you. Positioning here is quite odd. So here I'd like you to actually go into the goal instead of in front of it. Because notice how bad this is going to make your positioning. So you're up really far. Again, you should be rotating back to goal here. Not enough, what you call that? Not enough urgency in rotating back. Like, you're trying to defend from in front of goal rather than from the goal, which I'd argue is pretty much incorrect every single time. So that's yours for sure. Again, look at your teammate. He's not going to get a contest on this as soon as this bounces, so you could have taken a really wide line here. Like, you stop right here. I don't know why you're stopping here. You could have gone even further out, like further to the wall. Because if... Alright, so the reason here for... the reason for this is that if Radek gets a touch, you're out of the play regardless, right? If he gets a good enough touch, you're probably out of the play. If he doesn't get a good enough touch, then it's still yours, regardless of if you take a wider line or not. So, so just in this case, you can just take a wide line, and that would make this so much more threatening. Let's see, kind of agree with FaZe being out of goal there, but don't think the mid was the right spot. Yeah, I agree with him being out of goal. I just don't agree with him stopping in front of the goal and going back to mid and then being caught off guard. Like, he needs to be in a position where he can still contest the ball while not having, like he shouldn't be playing the ball backwards against the wall, because that just gives him no information. He should be trying to move into a position where he has information of who is challenging. That's what I'm arguing. That's what I would argue at a higher level. But right now, I'm just trying to focus on general mistakes and like things that are like actual mistakes in positioning or decision making. Like, I could argue that there are multiple things that could be done better, but I'm just gonna go on like very general things here because it's still platinum, and like I think below champion you don't really need to get into specifics too much. No, you shouldn't have let that back wall hit for another player because there was no other player. But you shouldn't have been in a spot where you would have to hit it into the back wall in the first place, is what I'm trying to say. Also, Silent Echo says front of goal defense is incorrect every time from Diamond, but at Champ 3 to Pro, front post defense is favorable in occasional situations to defend double touches. Oh, no. I agree. I don't think you stepped on my toes at all. I'm just trying to say that I'm not arguing that. Just to kind of have like present a unified front, if you will. And I very much welcome the passing thoughts, because they help me. This is the first time I'm doing threes analysis myself, so, well, not the first time, but one of the first times I'm actually trying this. So I would very much like people that have more experience in analyzing threes than me to chime in if you have an opinion. So definitely keep doing that. Alright, so, oh yeah, back on this shot, right? So, had you taken a wider line here, right now you're just going to shoot this at the backboard and it's just going to bounce straight out, right? Let's say, in this case, that you were like here, facing the goal. That will give you an angle to shoot at every single part of the goal, whereas now, they're really only scared of you shooting at this part of the goal, right? So, just being here, instead of being here with your nose facing this way, but with your nose facing that way, you're so much more scary to this team, or to their team, than you are right now. And this just turns into a pretty bad hit. I mean, luckily they whiff, but that could have been a lot worse for your team. Just a bit slow there. This time you're doing it quite well. Mechanical failure there, but that's fine, that happens. Again, okay, so this is a pattern now, because we've seen it twice. You stop in front of goal instead of back in net. And you should see, like, in this situation, a little bit further forward. So you should see that the first player, your front player, is probably going to get beaten, right? There's almost no chance that he will get a hit on this ball that is relevant. So he misses. At this point, you should be in net, and you shouldn't be where you are, because where you should be is right. How do I even zoom? Oh my. Right there. That is where you should be. How do you send replays to other people, Blazovich? There is a folder on your computer that has all your replays. Find the replay file that you want and then send it. Upload it to Rocket League Replays. So this is where you should have been. Instead, you're right here, right? So, had you been here, let's say this person, Starwish, or Experience, I guess, gets beaten or doesn't hit the ball. Now you're in a really bad position because Guha is going to be following that up. So this is just insulating yourself against bad teammates, right? But in general, just stay in net, or stay in net. Like, I don't care if you touch the back post on the goal line and then rotate forward, but make a habit to rotate to the far post. Don't rotate on the far post to the far post. So a little bit to the left and then curve in. Right? Alright, so this cheat up, this is just putting yourself out of position, and it makes it so much harder for you to get a good save. That would have been a goal at higher level. Like, so this is what, 2-1 or 1-2 down now? Because you should have scored that earlier goal. So yeah, this should be 1-2. So this hover is a bit awkward because your teammate doesn't even have the ball yet. But it's good because otherwise you would get congested in goal, right? So this is good cheat, but it's a bit awkward because you're not really giving your teammate an opportunity to pass to you. Because he's just looking to hit this forward. And as you see, it's going to go straight forward. And now you're kind of in a... hold on. Right, so the thing that's happening here is your teammate just not having the understanding of the playlist here to take a wider line and not just boom it forward. That's what you'll see in a lot of low-level games. Like I'd say up until like mid-diamond maybe, is where people will just hit the ball forward, trying to clear it away when they're trying to clear the ball away on defense. What you want to be doing is you want to be looking for your teammates instead, and trying to get the ball to them so that they can pass it back out to you, or they can take a shot at the backboard and then another player can follow up, yada yada. Like there's countless options, but you want to be trying to hit the ball towards your teammates instead of, like this guy did, away from them. So you kind of realize this maybe a little bit late, and then you're forced into a really awkward challenge. Nice bump though. Okay. So this is just a bit... Here I'm just kind of looking at, like, how this... So you should have definitely flipped into this, thinking about it. Like, jump, up. This is just mechanical. Like, I'm just being very picky now. But you should have hit that with your corner instead of the nose, and then flipped into it. Like, side of your... the right side of your nose, and that would have landed you a better spot. So here, this is a bit bull chasey, what you're doing here. You know that someone's beside you, so I guess it's fine if you do this, but it's much I'm gonna assume that your teammate is headed, like, if I can't do that when I'm alt tabbed, obviously. So your teammate is actually doing the same thing that you are. Like, if we look at this perspective, backflipped, yada yada. So he's right next to you, and he's just going to continue going back like that. This is just really bad by him, right? But what you should have done is you should have realized that he was next to you and started sticking to the side. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what you was trying to do, because I think getting mid boost here is just a mistake, right? You're trying to cover you're both trying to recover, so you don't want to bother about mid boost. You just want to get back to the position where you need to be as soon as possible, and you're not doing that, so you're not fulfilling your obligation to the team. Neither is your teammate, by the way, but he's doing it in a far more, like, obstinate manner than you are. But you should be recovering as soon as possible, and you shouldn't be caring about boosts so much as long as you get about a 30, maybe 40, so you can make a play, right? You really don't care about boost at this point, because all you're trying to do is trying to get out of a horrible situation, which is the 1v3 that you left your teammate in. At a high level, this would probably been a goal. You guys being that far up and getting out of the getting beaten to the boost, and then one person with possession like that. That would have been a goal, right? So this is a really good example of. So this is good, right? Right now you have a good course. If you flip now, this is a good recovery. So, and then you turn right here, which makes no sense, because there's already someone in the corner. Yeah, so you're not going to back post again, and you're stopping in front of goal. Had you been, again, where is the fly camera? I don't even know how to operate this thing. Alright, so had you been right here, then this would have been a horrible pass, or a horrible hit, pretty much. So try and pay attention to this again. You are really making it harder on yourself. Like, this pass would have been a good pass. Sorry, I shouldn't have said bad pass, but this would have been a good pass to you had you been at the back post. And it would have been an easy one because you would have gotten it. This would have been a goal at higher level. So this is 1-3 now. You should be down 3-1 by the way you've played. Hesitation is the biggest issue for most players. Better to commit so your team can adapt than change your mind and confuse your team. Yeah, I would even go a step further and say that hesitation is the biggest mistake that you can make in threes. Because if you hesitate, people will start congesting behind you until someone goes, oh, well, I'm not doing this, and cuts in front of you. And cutting in front of someone is actually probably more invasive to rotations than you hesitating. But you hesitating is what leads them to cutting in. So fix your hesitation. But I wouldn't say hesitation is like what I see in this game. I can't see hesitation to challenge so much as just not knowing what to do. Like, I realize that sounds like hesitation, but just not knowing, having the ball and just not knowing what to do with that. Cutting the field laterally is the biggest mistake. I think that's just cutting in general. I have no idea why, but Nightbot didn't want to help me make commands, so I'm not sure if it's Nightbot or if it's something else. If you're putting yourself in half positions between rotational spots, you rarely have enough momentum to make quality touches, which is what I'm seeing. Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree with that. Being in no man's land. Cutting laterally can be a consequence of hesitation for someone else, but it's a cutting player's issue. Yep, true. But I mean, usually if you're just if you're rotating properly and you're not hesitating, then people generally won't cut in, is what I've found. But I might be wrong on that. I don't have as much experience in lower rank freeze. All right. So this is again just putting the ball away for no reason, and now you're just in between. Like, this is kind of what I would also disagree with that statement at every rank. Yeah, okay, obviously, but I mean, I'm gonna say lower rank, like plat. I'm gonna say that it doesn't happen as much in, you know, champ and up. A lot of players don't understand the importance of spacing and triangles. I mean, yeah, granted that pretty much everyone that does understand the importance of spacing and triangles is probably champ or above. And as such, most people would be below that point, but I'm assuming that's not what you meant. Alright, so anyways, if you have no boost, if you're trying to get this, like, again, don't hit it away like this. So this is not really good because, like, first of all, you just kind of forced your teammate into a really bad clear where both of you are in the same spot. Like, look at this. Again, you're like not even a car length, like 2 car lengths away from each other. Not even, probably, which is bad. And then you go up for a ball that you can't really hit because you have to dodge him, right? So this is kind of the story of bad positioning in threes. And then a nice double flick. I don't know what happened with the defense there. Probably got bumped. Yes, he did. Silent, what's your current rank in twos and sorry, not twos, threes? I'm just wondering, like, because you might have more experience in champ than I have. Yeah, okay, I got that champ obviously, but champ 1, 2, 3, what's it at? What is the highest that you've reached? I'm just wondering. I'm curious. Because you probably have more experience at higher levels of champ than I do. Okay, champ 1. I see. Hold on, I need to rewind this real quick. So kickoff happens. This is fine. This is not really a dangerous touch. So you should try and put this in a position where your back player can follow up on it. So I'd argue that this is not that hit, right? You missed the boost, which is a shame because now you're not going to get any. Now you have to go for that pad, and this is just a mess, right? And again, so again, your positioning here is completely wrong, and it's because you're not really. It's not really something that happens or should happen because you have no boost, right? You should have just been going for that ball and said, well, I don't have boost, but I have to make it work. Don't abandon your position for boost. Ball over boost, always. That was I mean, wasn't the best hit you could have gotten, but it was decent. It was good enough. I'm gonna use... Is anyone else noticing these mini lags, by the way? Or is that just me? Alright, so that should have probably been a goal. Let's see what happened. So you cheat up really far here. He gets a pretty bad hit. Yeah, you should have been further back here. Could have been. It could be a bad replay file of the server struggling. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So here in this situation, you're just going up really far where your teammate, like, if you're looking at where your teammates are. Your teammates are barely in the same, are barely, like, what, 3 car lengths away again? You should be giving so much more space to your teammates. And I mean that in the sense of, not always, obviously, because sometimes you just need to be a bit closer, but you're just giving, you're not giving them space at the times when you need to, basically. There was a good, I don't know, like 3 car lengths that you could have been away from your teammate and you would have been fine and you would still had that goal. Touch was not great. So you either want to clear this back, like, into their corner, so that, or you want to hit this at Star Wish. I'm not sure which one of the one you wanted to do. I'd personally go for hitting this at Star Wish, in which case you just want to be up a little bit later. Notice how many people of theirs are up. So you've got Banked, he's behind that, and then you've got Guha. So this happens. So Guha is right next to you, right? Banked is in your corner. If their third is going up for this, immediately, like he's expecting this pass, let's just quickly check if he was, right? So this is their third, right? And now look at how much time you almost immediately go up. You don't need to go up that early. I mean, yes, you can't just sit there, but you definitely have more time. Like, even at a higher level, that would have been a hit where I don't, like, unless they pre-read that particular bounce. Let's see here. This is an interesting one because you can see, okay, so he misses, Army gets on the ball. So this is going to be a 50-50 pretty much always, or it's going to shoot in front of the goal, and then Guha is either going to save it, or he's going to let it go to the other side. So you moving up here makes almost no sense. Will you agree with me on that? Like, there's almost no chance that you're going to get a hit out of this, that you can challenge from this positioning. Instead, what you should be doing is you should be moving towards this corner, probably a bit at the same height, so you can turn on this and get a shot at net from it, or maybe even a backboard pass, right? But you staying here just makes it so you're put out of the play now. You're in, like Wei said earlier, you're in between where you need to be, which is on the side here, or further back, right? You're just in this no man's land of, I can't do anything. And that's because you're not looking at what's happening on the screen and what your opponents and your teammates are trying to do. So your opponents pretty much always are going to 50-50 this, right? So if I play this, you'll see that, and it bounces over you. And now, you're out of the play, so you need to recover. And I don't think you power slide, you just turn around. So you rotate back, and now, look at what you do this again. So this is just a clear awareness, you're just not looking at your screen issue. again, so this 50-50 happens. Turn around. You see that your teammate is rushing for this. So you see your teammates going for this, and you still rotate back. No. You should be. You see two teammates. You see yourself going back, and you see your other teammate, Jeremy, I think. Jeremy 33. You see him going back. So why are you returning to goal? You have no business in goal, because you should be moving up. Jeremy shouldn't turn because he's in the same spot as Starwish right now. Right? So you just, like, at this point, when it happens like 4 times in one game where you just could have been in a different spot based on what you can see, that's where we notice a pattern. So this is a pattern that you're currently, that you have to break, is not looking at your screen to see who's going to hit the ball. So if we turn, Experience gets a hit. Again, this is not the type of hit that you would be looking for. But had you been a midfield, you would have been able to get a better challenge on that. And now you're so far away from the play, right? You could have maybe made a play there. Maybe. Had you been up. Again, I can also understand not being up because there's only 3 seconds left and you don't want to get dunked or you don't want to get scored on in like the last 3 seconds. But I still think the correct decision there is to go up, be in midfield, right? Because now it's just experience, and just you being there threatens your opponents. So you'll find that even in gotta play for the clutch. Looks like he was just playing for the overtime, gotta play for the clutch. Yeah, exactly. If you have 3 seconds and, you know, it's basically like this. If you make a mistake where, you know, it leads to you getting scored on, but you were in the right spot. Like if you were in midfield and they were just like, and you missed that ball or you misread a bounce and you get scored on, that's fine, right? But losing an opportunity to end the game right there because you weren't in the right spot because you were scared of missing, that's way worse. Because that shows that you're not willing to put yourself out there in order to improve. So that's just a mentality thing. Like, you want to get better at this game, you have to put yourself in those spots where, yeah, I could lose right now because I'm not playing ultra safe, but I'm also trying to, you know, get better at being in spots where I can't just miss the ball for no reason. Also, I just think it's the correct play. So this is not your ball. This is definitely not your ball, and you realize that correctly. But then you block your teammate. So this is bad, obviously, because that is still not your ball, and now you're rushing up for no reason, because you can tell that he's going to hit it again. So again, in like 1 minute, we've seen you not look at your screen 4 to 5 times, maybe even more. If we don't, like, if we count this, and then not realizing, you see that your teammate's in goal, and you still move in front of him, right? So that's 5. And then this happens, you see your opponent turning, and you still go for the ball. So that's just bad. There is no excuse for that. That's just not good. Like, you don't even need to rush this because it's not going to change. Like, you going up for this, like moving upfield for this, is not going to make him change his play. Because he's last man back. He just wants a power clear. He just wants to get this ball away from him and resume offense. Right, so this doesn't really do anything. Okay, that's a pretty lucky miss. When I see goalkeeper in goal, where should I be moving? Well, you should have seen that guy was in goal and that he was going to go for the ball, and instead of moving upfield, you should have been, well, to be fair, you should be looking to predict his hit and be there to challenge whatever clear he gets, deny it. But you're not doing that right now. Now you're just wasting boost and wasting your position, which would have been fine. Like, you could have gone anywhere with that. You could have seen that he was gonna, if you read that he was going to clear it sideways into the corner, then you could have been wherever the bounce was going to end up. If you see that he's going to clear it back forward, which was most likely in this situation, you shouldn't even have crossed the halfway line. You should have stayed on your side of the field and waited for his clear so you can intercept. Because if you look at, if we look back at the clear, so wait, where was it? Yeah, so Banked actually got a free pass off of this. Right? So instead, you know that you're not getting this. Just sheer speed of the ball. So why not turn back to your corner instead? Or even just turn straight around and challenge this. If Banked was a god, he could have redirected that, or maybe even, you know, whatever, but you got pretty lucky there, to be honest. I think you should leave that one for your teammate as well. You just turned, so you have barely any momentum. You see your teammate as well. You see that he's close to net. And then this is just kind of passing it back to your opponents. And now there's 2 people in net. You see that? There's 2 people in net because you went for this ball. So you've just congested both of your teammates. Now, I don't think you can say I thought he was too far away, because that shot was not going in. And he was close enough to goal that he could have been in goal. So you have to assume that he is. That's just trusting your teammates. Not trusting your teammates, you might as well not have any, right? If you're not going to trust on them to make basic saves, then you might as well not have any teammates and just do everything yourself. Which is obviously bad, because then you're not playing as a team, right? You just should have left that to him. That is the correct play there. No, you should never rotate the front post, in my opinion. Not in threes. Never. Unless you have to make like an emergency save. But in general, if you're trying to rotate to back post. Always. So this is good, but then you get bumped immediately. That's nice. Okay, so this is bad, right? Your positioning is good, and then it's turned bad by experience, right? So what do you do in this situation? You check which one of you is going for the ball. So experience is going for this ball. You, at this point, should have been, okay, he's going. You can see that because he's boosting. And you should go back. Instead, you stop here. Had Banked, oh, was it Banked? I think it's Banked. Yes, Banked comes in right here. Had he hit the ball, this would have been a goal. That would have been game over. See that? That would have been a goal. So, this would have been game over. Right here. Because you're not in the right spot. Right? You're not reading this correctly. To be, like, I can argue that it's Experience's fault for missing. But you should have seen the way this was going to bounce and just been there. Right? Didn't happen. And then, because you were at the back post... sorry, because you weren't at the front post in time... Now you don't get the... sorry, because you... I should say, because you were in between spots again, which is either front post or back post, you now don't have a good clear, or can't take possession of the ball, and you have to fight to get it out, and commit boost to that. Said wait. All right, let's hear it. Ugh. Let's see how much left of this game. Holy moly! All right. That is a long game. If I went for that, it would be double committing. No, what you want to do... So, he's going, right? No, I'm not gonna stop. I might just spend a little bit less detail on, you know, most of this. 'Cause if we're only halfway through, I do have another replay I want to get to. But... So you should have been at the back post right here. And that's just kind of... This is Experience's fault for not... this is Experience's fault for just being like, I see him coming back, but I'm not going for the ball. Right? So this hit happens. And as soon as you see him miss this, you should be up for that. Hi, Carlava and Mushans. Hi, Subby. I don't know who you are, Mushans. Like, who your Discord name is. But, so basically, right now, you're just kind of in between spots phase. You should either be at the back post and just being like, well, there's no one coming. And that's only when you know that there's no one coming. Or you should be at the front post blocking this. But being in the middle of this... middle of the goal here is just kind of awkward. Alright, so... Oh, I am on that one. Jesus. Alright. And then you just don't get a good... Oh, you'll practice, okay. And then you just get a pretty bad touch. Or you get no touch, actually. And now you have to fight to get this ball out. This is the same situation that I told you about earlier in this game, where you don't want to double commit. So, Jeremy is going to hit this ball. This is 100% Jeremy's ball, right? Because if you hit this, you're going to put it like into the wall. It's going to bounce out, and Jeremy's going to have to fight to get it out. You just miss, right? So that's just bad. Don't double commit like that. Ooh. So this is not yours to challenge for, at least not that way. You want to be... You definitely want to be further back here. Don't flip towards the ball, flip to like a different spot. Like right here you could have flipped. You don't need to continue this turn. And now you just rotate. Now you're doing what is commonly referred to as ball chasing. You're rotating onto the ball instead of where the ball is going to be. So you just get taken out of the plate. And your teammate misses, and this should be a goal. And you get a really lucky save, but that should have been a goal, right? That's the second moment now where you gave up, where they should have scored the goal but didn't, where it was your mistake, right? Interesting definition of ball chasing. No, that's what ball chasing is. Ball chasing is rotating to where the ball is, or being where the ball is instead of being where the ball is going to be. I mean, I guess people mistake... I call ball chasing rotating from position 2/1 onto position 2/1 from 1. I mean, it's a broad term. I actually have no idea what a broad term is. Yeah, but in that case, it's... Oh, broad. Yeah, it's a very broad term. I mean, yeah, you can still cut off a teammate, but if you're going to where the ball is going to be, and you're cutting off a teammate, then that's not ball chasing, right? Because that's... Like, if you're going to where the ball is, you're just predicting it. And you're not really chasing the ball. Like, if you're cutting a teammate off, then that's your teammate's fault for not being in the right spot early enough. Or you mean, like... rotating in front of someone. Well, anyways, just don't do that. Don't do the thing where you know that someone else is gonna go there. So don't. And this is the same thing. But if you're cutting into where the ball is going and rotate in front of your teammate, that's ball chasing. I'd call that ball hogging, not ball chasing, because you're literally hogging the ball. This is Plat 3, Walrus? Plat 3. Rotating with regard to the ball rather than the team positioning. It's both ball chasing. We got a 9-minute replay. I'm gonna stop pausing so much. So this is the same thing, same issue, right? right here. Why would you go and touch this? What would it do? It would just put the ball out, back out. But you can tell that your teammate is going to chase this. Right? You can see him. You can literally see him chase the ball. So why would you go up and ruin his positioning? We have minimum stream length metrics to meet here, boys. Yes, we do. Yeah, so why would you put it out of the wall there? Because how does it make sense? Because there is no way that you getting the ball out into midfield is going to do anything for your team. So you just want to go back and see what happens there. Like, there's no point in you rotating back in. You're just ball hogging at that point. If it's close to the wall, then it's close to defenders and attackers. Yes, but not every single hit needs to go in front of goal and be a goal scoring opportunity. The higher rank you get, the more you're going to have to accept if the teammate can see him going up the wall, he can take the push out from the wall. Yes, but again, this is solo standard. I'm not gonna assume. Oh yeah, you might not have been here when we started the replay. This is solo standard, so you just want to make safe plays. Like, I'd rather take the safe rotation back here. Like, I would just do that in general, not even like even in regular threes. Even in solo. Even if you're solo queuing regular threes, I would still take the safe rotation over taking the wall hit there. Because, you know, just because you can't always tell if they're going to make a good decision if you do something they don't expect. Like, I would not expect you to go up that wall and get a good... like, touch as well. So, especially at this rank. Like, at a higher rank, I would have a lot more confidence if someone goes for that and I see that, then I'll go, alright, well, I guess they're confident in that hit. And if they miss, then that's fine. But at this rank, I wouldn't expect that. Solo queue standard is easier than solo standard. I'd say so, yes. So, don't do that. Don't go for a hit that can be, like, it's basically you have to ask yourself for every hit that you're going for that isn't 100% yours. You have to think about, okay, if I get this hit, how good does my hit have to be effective or be useful, right? You could get a hit like that and just not get into the ceiling, drop straight down. That's bad, right? Because having a ball drop down straight again, like, you don't do anything with that. Your teammate's not going to go for that. So you want to be doing something with this bounce, or with this supposed hit. You want to be doing something with that actually accomplishes something. And that's not what's going to happen if you go for it. And you can see, like, your teammate didn't see you going. He went for that. Yes, you should be rotating out, down, center field, / wide. Just rotate out instead. And you would have seen that not only can Experience then move up, because now he can't. He's the only person defending against, with 2 of his teammates in the opponent's goal, right? He can't move up now. So you're taking not only yourself out of the play, but also kind of Experience. So you've just... because he can't move up, even if he wanted to. Because he has to cover... like, he could technically be at midfield, but that's still not a good position to be in. So this guy tries dribbling. This is nice. This is, again, right now you're just cutting in. This is not a good position for you to be in. You can see that guy, he's like right in front of you too. So you can see that Jeremy is going to turn for this. You see him turning. And still you rotate onto the ball. So you're just, at this point, you're just ball chasing. You're actually ball chasing. You're just going to where the ball is instead of where it's going to be. Because where it's going to be is it's going to be in their corner. See, if you had rotated back there, you would have been in a position to hit that ball again. Now you're scrambling to get back, and your teammate has to take a really bad touch. Or I shouldn't say a bad touch. It's a good touch, but it's just not a touch you were looking for. You'd much rather have had a touch that would have done something. So let's see this one. Nice control touch. This is good. Shame that you missed this. But the idea was there. That was a nice idea. To just keep the ball. Nice. Just abandon your position. Yada yada. That's fine. Let's see here. So again, you kind of rotate out of goal a bit early. Again, note how both your teammates are in the same spot. Can you go back a second in that corner? Yes, I can. What part do you want to see again, Duality? I'll just play it at 25. Yeah, I guess that's fine. I think that's just a matter of how much trust you have in your teammates. I agree that is definitely an option. I think that's just how much trust you have in your teammates. Like, I wouldn't blame... oh, I know, Duality. I've said this before. I don't usually analyze threes. So any opinions, additional information that you bring, I'm fine with that. Just, if you have a good argument as to why you think something is correct or what I'm saying is incorrect, feel free to say it in chat, and I will just, we can talk about it. Like, that's kind of my point as well with doing this, is I want to step up my analysis game. So that helps. But yeah, I agree. You can definitely stay in the corner there. That is a valid option. I'd say that depends on how much you trust your teammates. Like, I could understand if you don't trust your teammates and you might think, oh, they might double commit here, so I'd rather go back to net, right? That's a thing you might think. And then they kind of do in this situation. You see that Experience, both Experience and Jeremy are moving up. So you're kind of in a bad spot, right? Because you can't really move up because they're both in the same spot. So in that case, if you can't really move up and you see kind of this happening, like you see once he touches that, you see that Guha is moving up. You should be moving back here. Like, you should expect them to lose the ball. And if they don't lose the ball, then you can just kind of sit back. But look at how awkward this is again. Like, you have to move up on the wall. Now you have a really weird touch to make. If you'd been in net here, you could have just driven up the wall and cleared it to the side instead of, like, kind of do that really awkward off the wall touch. So this is just about angles at this point. So angles and you going for shit that you have no business going for. So, and I'd say that's more like spacing, I guess, but we'll get to that. So he gets that touch, teammate is there. I'd say that's one of those situations where you just go for boost instead. And this is good. That's just a good hit. Alright, I'm going to try and get this replay done. Probably extend the session with like half an hour so that I can get every replay done. Okay. So this is interesting. This is a good one. He hits this. Either you go up right here. Well, not right here, but more like here. Or you can kind of... You see that Guha's going up, right? You can just see that he's going up. So why would you stay under the ball? You already know he's going to hit this. You can't expect him to miss this, right? You should just be rotating back. Like, I get that you might think that you're getting passed back to, but really at like a level where that, like you're at a level where you should expect people at least to be able to hit to their teammates on touches like those. There's just a rush on a hit. If the first hit would have been a slightly more effective one, this would have been fine. Again, teammates overcommitting. So this is, again, one of those things where you're not really looking at your screen. So you see this is almost a guaranteed clear by your opponents. This is not on target. It's nowhere near your teammates. This is going to go back to your half of the field. 100% guaranteed. And then you turn here and you take a really aggressive line. So right now, this is going to fall above you. Now, had you gone further back, say you stayed on this line instead of creeping up, you would have had a shot at goal here. Right? So that's, again, try and... Oh, what was that? Try and look at your positioning as a matter of covering angles. You're trying to cover as much of the field as you can, and you're doing that by looking at what is going on the field, which angles to cover and which you don't have to cover. Not sure why you jumped there. There was no way that was yours. You missed the boost. I'd rather just see a clean rotation, not back infield. You'd much rather just stick to the wall here. But that's just a small mistake. I'm just gonna skip forward a little bit. Let's skip forward to this save. So you get demoed. It's a nice shot on net. Too bad it's not in. It's really close though. This 50-50 you could have definitely taken a bit better. Don't take that in the middle. Take that with your nose. Try and force it to through him, not at him. Again, this is one of those hits. Sorry, Jamudi, I'll come to your question after this. After this replay. I'm just taking a little 5-minute break between this one because I've been going for 1 hour already. So if we just go back to this again, this is just double committing. That's just bad. So this is good. I think you rotate a little bit too far away from the play here, considering that both you and your teammates should be out of boost or low on boost now. So you should realize that and probably rotate back in because you have 40 boost. Right? It's a pretty bad clear. You take off ball cam, which is unwise in my opinion. Oh. That's close. 12-minute game. Yeah. I know, right? Alright, so again, double committing. You should just leave this. Like, once you see that he's there as well, just leave it to him. Let him figure out how to clean up the mess. And don't really bother with the rest of that. Like, you don't need to be there, so don't be there. Simple. If you're going to respect this... If you're going to respect that, you have to move back here. You're not saving that if he hits it. Nice attempt at an extension, but... And that's game. Okay. This replay was definitely from a server that struggled, by the way. He shouldn't be on. Yeah, agreed. Alright, so... closing thoughts, and then I'll move back to chat for a bit. So, closing thoughts. You have a lot of problems where your meta skills are concerned. Your positioning is odd at times, and that's your positioning is odd at times, that's for sure. So, you're not really in the right spot, or you're close to the right spot but not quite the right spot, and that will end up with the ball going over you, or you having a really odd angle on a hit. And that kind of stems from you not looking at your screen. And that sounds really stupid when I say that, but you're just not gathering the information that is on your screen. There is a lot of information going on, or like a lot of information to be gathered in threes in this game. Like you have to think about the ball, about where your teammates are, where your opponents are, what boosts are up, where is the ball going, who is in position to get the ball. There's a lot of shit going on in threes. I will not argue you on that. But you have to gather that information. You have to look at your opponents, at your teammates, whenever you can, and take note of who is going for what. Where are they? Are they turned around? Are they, these things are important, and you need to take notice of them, and you're not doing that. Another way to put it is that you're playing reactionary, as a lot of people do. Try to play a little bit more ahead of the game, taking everything you can to make plays ahead of time. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, just a bit more eloquently put. You have to just look at your teammates. If your teammate is clearly getting a ball, then then feel free to move up. Don't let yourself be don't let yourself be fooled into going back to goal every time you think you have to. There's a lot of times where I'll go back to goal in a rotation, and then I'll go, oh wait, no, I can actually move up, and I'll move up. So that's something that you should really, really, really focus on. So focus on your awareness. That's a big one, really, really big one. If you can just work on that, I think you should see a pretty astronomical increase. You should see a pretty astronomical increase in your rank in threes, just by, not like, or even in twos actually, just by you knowing where to be at all times. And the second big point that I'd argue, like really, really big, is make wider rotations. You have time. Don't let yourself be fooled that you need to get to the ball as soon as possible. Often, if a ball is yours, it'll be yours by a good margin. You'll have time. If it's a close ball, like if it's very close and it's a challenge, then by all means try and get to the ball before them. Like that's fine. But if it's yours and no one there to contest you, take your time and make yourself as dangerous as possible. There were a couple times in this replay where you just could have been slightly bit more to the side, point with your nose pointing a different way, and you would have been so much more dangerous, where now they didn't have to respect you at all, right? And that's a problem. That's an actual problem in threes, because threes is, like I said, it's a lot about covering angles, but it's also a lot about creating danger, putting on pressure. And the way you put on pressure is to keep hitting the ball around and then mixing in a shot out of nowhere, something like that. That can create a lot of pressure against opponents. And at this level, you will see people that will simply crumble by you just taking good shots at the backboard or even at net, right? But that means you'll have to create angles for yourself that are scary and that are, gonna do something if you get to the ball first. And that's the second big thing that you should work on. And like I said, with there's double commits, but I think that's also part of your awareness. You just don't look at who's going for the ball, and that ends up with you being in the same spot as your teammates a lot. So I'd say you have the issue of spacing and your positioning, which is kind of caused by your awareness. So that's like kind of two problems that stem from one problem, and then the second one is what we just talked about. So that's most of my advice after seeing this replay. I'd recommend you start working on your awareness mostly. But wider lines definitely will make a difference. All right, so I'm gonna check out a little bit of the backlog in chat because I saw a couple things here. So I'm analyzing Ghost replays while I have this on second screen, and I'm really enjoying the stream as something to listen to with occasional glances while I do that. Analysis overall is good and very specific. Thank you very much. Only thing I would say is be more specific on events like goals, saves, clears, but focus on the macro positioning in between those rather than every small decision. Alright, I will keep that in mind. Jamudi, I just posted a replay on the analysis channel. Will I get to the stream? I am going to check. Let's see. So this is solo standard silver 2. Let's see. So if you're in silver in solo 3s, I'm just gonna go ahead and say that there's a lot of you to work on, and it's probably your mechanics and your positioning. You're probably just double committing a lot. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that I'll definitely won't do your replay analysis, but I might just set that, like put that for next week or maybe Friday. It depends on how much I have on Friday, because Friday I intend on doing 2s, 3s, and 1s. So I'm gonna save this for if we have time left over at the end. I might do this one now, but if I don't have time today, I'll do it tomorrow or Friday. But no promises for today. Alright, so let's check. Pretty high levels. I'm not sure if this is what you're looking for in the team, but I've been meaning to go over this for a while. One of our losses in the college league to a really good team, so that's really interesting. I noticed you can get to high level, but I thought it might be good to analyze some high level play. Alright, and I've got Arvo. If you need replays for the stream, just hit me up. Alright, sweet. So I've got one more that was sent in. So threes is actually quite easy for me to analyze because there's so many mistakes. And then let's see. Was there any other? The backlog? Be patient. He's pretty busy. Yeah, I was pretty busy. Let's just see. There's a lot of good information. All right, so let's hop into additions replay real fast. Hard attach. So I'm gonna assume that IR addition is the player that we, are following. See if there's any other people we know in here. Nope. So this is solo standard. So again, we're going to look at safety. In solo standard, we're going to look at safety more so than, being more aggressive. But, we're still going to point out general mistakes. Every day until Friday. And I don't know if I said that, but I might be extending this for another week. So doing this next week for a couple of days. But I will definitely continue doing this after this week. So, right off the bat, good kickoff. Decision making there is fine. Nice recovery. Good awareness. Touch is poor, but that's fine. The idea was there. Alright, wait, hold on. Me too, but contracts. Yeah. Alright, so, since you're kind of far away, and that happens because you missed the boost, Evan is just going to be... Alright, I'm going to step in here. Wait, hold on one sec. While so... You can assume that Evan is going to cut in here, and he does. You rotate back, which is correct. That's nice. You could have moved up a bit more, but this is... I'm not sure about this one. I think you could have cut this into your corner and then taken possession, but this works. It just puts more emphasis on your own mechanics because you need to get a decent enough hit. Whoa. What happened there? It's actually a pretty good shot. My teammate. Yeah, I think at this point it's better to just hop to the left here. I mean, most of their team is facing the left at this point, so it might have been better for you to just swerve off to the left here. But I mean, it's a close one. It doesn't really matter much. You could have definitely stolen their corner boost though, instead of the mid boost. Not a huge issue though. This shot, could this shot have been a goal? Yeah, you should have just shot this at the top right corner instead of trying to get it past Arlik. Arlik is pretty much the only one that has to that has a shot at saving this. And even if this gets saved, like if you shoot it top right, at least you made it really hard for them to save it, right? You definitely wanna make it as hard as possible to save this if you can, if at all possible, right? So just put this top right, see if they save it. If they don't, you just scored. If they do, well, at least you made it really hard for them. And now it's just kind of, well, we just get the reset again. So you'd much rather, this is weird. You have 60 boost, you can rotate back as soon as you see your teammate there. So this is just really wide rotations, and now you're out of the play because you're really far away. Right? So keep that in mind. If you have 60 boost and you see your teammate back, immediately turn. And now you're just kind of hovering really, really far away for no reason. There's no one of the orange team that is even close to the ball, so why are you not moving up? And now you're really far away again. Look at how far away you are during most of that play. So you can be so much closer. You don't need to touch that. You don't need to touch that. Just let Evan do his thing. He's got this. He's got a plan at this point. You following up here is just putting yourself out of position. I mean, this is nice. That's a good touch. I'm not sure if it's the game or if it's me. It might just be me lagging. Again, you had no need to touch this. Both of them are dead. You don't need to touch this forward. Just let it fly. Or let it roll. And then you can roll it into your corner and clear it away that way. But don't just hit the ball to hit the ball. Ugh. So that's actually a decent pass. I'd much rather you just go to net here, I think. Because if there was someone going up for this, if someone is going up for this, you are never beating them with no boost. So just stay in net here. You also just get a bad touch, which makes Evan have to clear up your mess. So instead just... Oh, and this is obviously not good, but you know why it isn't. So you're just making Evan clear up your mess. And that's... Oh, that's not going to be a goal. But yeah, that's just a mess that shouldn't happen. If you just stay in goal and let Evan clear it up. Mechanical mistake there, that's fine. Just hitting the ball again. Right there, you had no need to hit that ball towards your opponents. Just hit it out the sidewall and then see if you can follow up on that. But don't just give the ball away. I'll say that this has gotten a lot more exhausting after that first replay. Okay, so you missed. Interesting decision on that angle. Oh, so that should have been a goal. Oh, my bad. Can you go back to 205 on the scoreboard? If ball is rolling in front of your teammate, you need to stop expecting... Oh, what the... Why is it not... Alright, let's do it. $205. Or do you mean 105? This one? $210. Alright, we'll go back. Oh, yeah, that one. So, you mean this one? Or a little further back, even. This one, right? Yeah, agreed. At this point, you should have been expecting about 50-50. I feel like others should be sharing the workload with you. Man, I enjoy doing this. It's definitely fun. He's playing the ball as if it's going to shoot out to him, but his teammate pretty obviously doesn't have control. Yeah. You're just kind of making this harder on your teammates. Your teammates have already established that he's going to get away with this. So you challenging this and getting this 50-50, this is just going to ruin your teammates. And it does. Look at that. Wismer is out of the play all of a sudden, and now you're you're kind of in a weird spot as well. You have to move up with no boost. So this is just all kinds of awkward. Right? This is just all kinds of awkward. So don't do that. Let me see that one more time. Okay, that was good call. That was hitting the post. You could have moved to that earlier, but that's fine. You really need to stop turning off ball cam so much. Because you're definitely missing things when you're not on ball cam. You could have turned back a little bit earlier there as well. Like, even if they didn't hit that, you would have been back. You would have been back much earlier had you gone back. You should have read that bounce. That could have been a shot. I mean, you still get the shot, but now it's just kind of awkward because you're out of boost. Tilting back. This is a mechanical mistake. You're tilting back. Tilting back way too late. And you get a really awkward touch. And that's game. Right, so I'd say this game, general thoughts, mechanics were fine. I'd say good enough to win this game at least. Slight decision-making issues that I would say did cost you the game. Most of it is just whacking the ball away. He was Diamond 2, I believe. Let me quickly check if I have that information. No, this was solo standard at Platinum 3 as well, but the player himself is Diamond. Let me check that real quick. Am I doing another replay after this? Yeah, we have time for another one. But general thoughts, just stop whacking the ball away. In the sense that don't just hit the ball to hit it. hit it with a purpose. Think about where your ball is going to end up. So don't just do the whack ball, don't think about it, and boomer it across field every time. Try to aim for places where there's no one, or taking more controlled touches so that you can keep the ball close to you. General rule of thumb is if you take a touch and you know that you won't be able to get another one after that, then don't take the touch. Right? Take a different touch that will allow you to hit the ball again, even if it's just a 50-50 or a challenge. But try to keep possession for as long as possible, and if you can, make sure that if you can't get the ball again, then maybe a teammate. That's the kind of thinking that you need to be doing, both on offense and on defense, obviously. But this, like right now, you're just kind of whacking the ball whenever you can. And a second one I would argue is just patience. There were a couple of times where you could have gotten a better angle at something, or given yourself more time to do something, if you just been a bit more patient instead of rushing a hit and then, kind of giving the ball away again, right? And that's just things like not letting a ball roll into the back corner, not giving yourself a line to cross boost instead and going for an early shot, like that kind of stuff. You're just rushing things a bit too much, and you're trying to create speed into a game, but all you're doing is just giving the ball away again. So that's something you could definitely work on. Other than that, though, I didn't really notice much that is super huge or that is a pattern in your play from this particular replay. You definitely had an opportunity to score, and I think you should have scored that, but other than that, really not much. Alright, so I've got one more replay. I let's see. I've been live for 1 hour and 36 minutes, so in an effort to make this at least a 2-hour stream, if not longer, we're gonna do another replay. Let me quickly try and find that replay. Also, thank you for all the viewers in chat for hanging out. We appreciate it very much. Oh, you know what? You know what's going to be fun? This is actually going to be really cool. Hey, where am I able to submit replays? Bunker, if you are not in the Discord channel, then type rlcd.gg into your browser and it will send you a Discord invite link to the server, and you can submit a replay in the replay analysis channel there. What? No, it won't. No, what won't? What did I say? I forgot what I said already. Oh, it won't? Oh, right, because oh, yeah, we went live with the website. That's so weird now to me. I've completely forgot about that. Yeah, if you click that, then you'll be sent to the Discord server, and you can find a link to the... Oh, if you remember, yeah, just put a replay in replay analysis, the replay analysis channel. Don't forget to follow the Don't forget to follow the post guidelines. You can find those in the pinned tab. How often do you broadcast this kind of stream? For now, I plan on doing this for the rest of the week. So tomorrow I will do another one, and then Friday, and from there on, we kind of plan on making this a weekly thing. I won't do this every week, every single day, because that's expecting a lot out of someone. But I'm definitely down to do this at least once a week, maybe twice. But that we don't have a clear idea of how often yet. Is your replay today? Is stream ending? I just got here. No, we are definitely doing another one. I'm just chatting with chat real quick while I get my replay. So we're actually going to do something fun. I got sent a replay by Whey Protein, who is Grand Champ level, which is interesting because he's way better than me. And we're gonna see if we can find something that he sucks at. I'm gonna try and see if Whey Protein sucks at something. And if he does, we're gonna tell him that he sucks at something. So that's gonna be fun. By the way, Whey Protein, yes, this is the same Whey Protein that makes every single trainer pack known to man. So you're in for a treat, boys. Lol, the ghost guys are better than me too. This was a team game, so I'll try to give some insight to team comms as well. Yeah, that would be sweet. Let me do this one. Do you remember what the game was called? Why? If you struggle, sub, I'll give you one of my games at an 8-minute OT. Oh my god, please no, save me, spare me. Let me just X everything that I've... Ooh. Oh, nope, that is not what I wanted to do. Give me... Oh, and I need to show you guys why that replay is called what it's called. But that's mostly for the... what the hell? Why is it not? Oh, it's because I have cap locks on. TAM game, where are you? It's not that old, is it? Did I just... Oh, I just completely missed it. Alright, I'm dumb. I'm dumb, boys. It's all good. It's all good. Hold on while I get some different tabs opened. Alright. Pause. Alright, I'm gonna disconnect my my controller because it's making noises that I don't want. Alright, there we go. There we go. So let us Whey Protein. Hide this. And then give me 10 seconds. Alright, we back. Had to pull myself a quick beverage. And let's go. Let's see if Whey Protein sucks, shall we? Ooh, that was a nice clear. I think it would have just been better if you didn't half flip there. Like, looking at this, I mean, it's hard to tell because you're backwards, but I think you would have just been better off in net there instead of half flipping. But that's like that. I think that's a very small. Yeah, should have done a back. Yeah, agree. Back post defense was. Oh, you were you were playing. No. I agree with. I think this, like you being there, is absolutely fine. Where were we? Like you being here, this is definitely fine. This is completely fine in my opinion. Because if, like, as you said, this is a 50-50. If he wins it, you're in a really good spot to keep on going, right? I mean, I'd say it's not the best depending on where it goes, but this is a fine position. Like, I would not necessarily disagree with this, but like once you get into this position, I feel that the half flip is just kind of eh. But other than that, it's completely fine. I 100% agree with your thinking. Nice. Ooh, nice clear into a nice shot. That's just a really good awareness by you to pop that out to your teammate. Well done. Good kickoff. Shame on the miss. So I'd say your teammate just kind of... I'm gonna check that one again. It looks like he has time there, so I'm not sure if I agree with that, but I mean, to be fair, you're in a pretty bad spot, so rushing to get out of that is pretty good. Let me see that one again. I mean, if we're gonna... He called a pass to me, but no boost. Okay, yeah, that seems fair. I'm not sure how much I like this. Like, I guess you have to go for this pass, but this is so awkward. Like, the fact that this hover, I think this is where it goes wrong. Is this part. Once you see David going up for this, I feel like this hover that you do here is just kind of awkward, because this commits you to whatever hit comes after this, right? Because you're already up, and the next hit, like this one, is super awkward. Yeah, you might not be giving him space. That does. I didn't check his perspective, so if we check this, it might end up that way. So you kind of just hover. Yeah, so this is just not trusting him to be there. Yep. Yeah, that hover was just kind of awkward. And now, as a result of that, he's in a weird spot. Gets a pretty bad touch out of you, and he goes up as well. Not committing, but still going up for it. Huh, let's see if that could have been a goal. I do want to go back to your perspective real quick. There we go. So that happens. That was a really good hit. I'm not sure if this was calculated or if you just try to shoot this. Yes, the touch against the wall was good. It's just awkward because you now have two people up for a challenge that you probably won't beat anyone to. So basically, at this level, you need to, like, anyone that sees that ball going to the wall can read that. That's just Grand Champ level 3s. I'm assuming this is Grand Champ level, or somewhere around that level. So you're ending up with, yeah, he should be able to get a 50-50, but that's still not good. Because that means that two players are now out of the... Like, I think it's fine, but it is awkward. It is definitely an awkward position for Wei to be in. And it's of his own making. Like, that's just how it is, but... It's not the best situation. Let's just keep it at that. That's my opinion, at least. But how are two players out of it? Well, it's a 50-50, right? Prince went up for it, so he's out of the play. If that goes anywhere, it shouldn't go in favor of Wei, because he should be in a bad spot. Yeah, pretty much what Wei said. A ball that is non-threatening if the other side team wins the touch. It's basically just getting a touch that's no... Yeah, he jumped, but he didn't actually commit to the aerial. He merely jumped, so he was going to be back late anyway. He wasn't going to be in a good spot on defense. So if the 50-50 doesn't go in Wei's favor, which it shouldn't, because the touch was quite awkward for him. He was quite far away, even though it was the touch of his teammate. Then they probably wouldn't have won the 50-50 anyway, And that just kind of makes it awkward for the team because you're not really in a position to save it properly. Right, so that it just puts your team in a bad spot. He should win the 50 at least enough to give time for his teammates to get back in it. No, he shouldn't. Because you have to also imagine that once that ball hits the wall... Yeah, I should, actually. Let's see. Where was it? Was it further? I think it was further along. Yeah, so here. Let's see. So right here. That's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. Right. So this is just okay. Let's look at this from this perspective. At this point, he's never gonna win the touch. He shouldn't even be up for this, to be honest. Like he should be moving back if anything, because you should realize that Prince is there. The ball isn't going anywhere dangerous either, so he should just leave this. And instead he hovers, sees Prince turn, and at this point, when this hit happens, you should expect whoever is the third player, this guy, is reading this. And he's already up. At this point, he's already up. Like, there's no way that you're beating this in a 50-50. Unless he messes up really badly. Let's see if Wei is up. He's also up, but he's a bit lower. And he's further away from the ball. So, also, again, this is going into the wall. If Wei gets to this before you, this is going into the wall. Yeah, the turn up was correct, but yeah, exactly. Turning was correct. The turn up was correct. The going up for it is arguably a mistake. I mean, all right. So let's move back to 100. The rest of that play was fine. Can you replay 50% speed without stopping? Yes, I can. Okay, he does have the ability to miss. No, I'm not arguing that he will get beaten to it or not. Even if you beat Pac to the ball, it's still in a position where the ball is not threatening at all. If Wei had hit that towards the ball, he would have won the 50. He could have won the 50-50. You're not trying to win the 50-50 though. You're just trying to prevent them from winning it. Like, obviously you're trying to win it, but you don't want, like, the angle that you win that at is an angle where Pac just messes up. And you can't really expect him to mess up. But, again, he could have beat Pac, but that would have put the ball in a spot where it's just not threatening at all, and where any blue player could easily have caught the ball and taken possession back. So at that point, you're just wasting boost and wasting your position just to get a touch that is non-threatening, right? So that's just an ineffective touch, pretty much. Any blue player, both no, they would have easily had that. Just look at how this ends up. He hits it. Alex Storm is already back. Like, if you win this, it's going to, like, what? Here, maybe? And then it'll bounce back out, and Alec will easily save that. This is not putting on any pressure at all. I mean, I agree with you that it definitely, you could have definitely beaten him. I don't think it would have mattered much though, because both Prince and, like, Will, I assume that's his name, would not have been in a position to do something with that. If he plays it high and goes back down, Prince could have beat Alec to that follow-up. Yes, but then you have to know while you're going up that you're going to beat Pac to it. And I think Pac would have got beaten way to it if he hadn't stopped boosting during his takeoff. So I still think this going up for this is bad. Like I think Park was in a bad position as well. So I don't think it's a huge mistake though. That was such a good touch. Jeez. This is, yeah. Yeah, that's just greedy. Your replay analysis is your call. No. I think you have a point. You definitely have a point. There is an opportunity there, but I don't think with risk reward in mind that it's worth it. Let me see that one more time, actually. So I think here, you actually had a pretty good, like right there, you had a pretty good way to challenge that. Right now, you just kind of block. You go in front of it. And while I think that's fine, you could have put this to the side instead. But that's just a different, like, now you're just kind of hoping that it doesn't go through, or it, like now it flies off the backboard, which can be scary for your team, and it almost is, like twice there. But if you put it to the side, that's just so much less dangerous than what you did now. And now you're just kind of under the under pressure again. Ooh, nice intercept. Very close though. Bolt cam off for so long here. I think you should have... Yeah, okay, that's fine. That looked so long though, that you don't have any information. Nice. So at this point, you're probably feeling pretty good because you've just scored, and you like even try. Oh, information you're trying to get is corner boost. Yeah, that's fair. I'm just kind of trained to expect no boost in their corners if there's one or two people back, but that's just me. That seems like a rush. So that's just there's no both of them are up, and you're like this is just risky. Like it's not necessarily a mistake, but it's risky, and it doesn't pay off. Like you get the double bump, which is nice. Like that saves you a lot of time, and Will really should have made this save. Like, this is not the hardest save in the world. I guess he was respecting the redirect, but still. Yeah, I was feeling bad for being so far back. Yeah, that's... I mean, to be fair, you being that far back was kind of meh, but rushing up like that would just put you in an awkward... Like, your team in an awkward position. You did kind of alleviate it by bumping both of them, like, both Alec and Park, and then bumping Park again. Which that's kind of good. Like, that's super nice that you bump both of them, or at least one of them, and then bump the other again. But then they should have saved this easily. So it's just kind of on both, or like all of you, I guess. I'm not sure whether or not, like if they said like, oh yeah, I got this, and then they just made a mechanical mistake, that's eh. But how did this happen? I didn't see the kickoff. Alright, so nothing you really could do there. But Will tilted so hard here. Yeah. I can imagine getting scored on twice in 20 seconds. That's pretty bad. Ooh. Let me see. Hold on. So, you know someone is back for this? So this is definitely not yours. Yeah, exactly. So, and like, I'm gonna go even a step further. This is not yours because it's Prince's, and even if it wasn't Prince's, then it's Alex. So you're just disregarding 2 complete players on the pitch here. Like, Alec would have just gotten this before you, no matter what, so... yeah, that's bad. And then... now you're just in a bad spot. Nice. This is a good short post rotation. Because you need someone on the ball to cut their angles. Nice clear. Or nice hit, I should say. 2 of them went up, so that should be a goal. Let's see what happened there. Did Will just rush this? I think he just rushed this. Let's see. Yeah, I think he just rushed that. This is a good move by Alec to make this less scary. But he was out of boost there, I'm pretty sure. So, I don't know, that's just... seems like a bit rushy to me. Alright. Awkward. So now you're in an awkward spot. Okay. Let's check this. Alec is just a god at staying behind the ball, so frustrating. Yeah, he seems like a very frustrating player to play against. He's definitely like on point with his with getting you to hit the ball into him. That's for sure. So that touch by Will. This is just something that you need to like. You just need to realize that this touch by Will is just completely screws you over. So just stay in net. Now you just get beaten. I mean, you get the save, but. You're not in a bad... yeah. I'm just panicking. Yeah, agreed. But then you get a freebie. Ooh, you kind of missed the freebie. Will is being really confusing there. Yeah, Will does seem a bit off his game at this point. You're hovering under the ball there. Let's see. I mean, I guess this is the most effective position you're going to be in since you know that someone is in net. So this is actually fine. I'd say normally being under the ball like that is bad, but in this situation, yeah, I'm alright with that. This is fine. Oh, nice read on that. Don't get greedy. Oh, you got greedy. Yeah, you got greedy. Yeah, it's good on you to realize that, like, even if they get the hit, you're still most effective there because there's already someone in net. And at least now you're making yourself useful in the situation. Why shouldn't you grab that boost? Because... alright. So... I need to go back for that. So you're under the ball here. Right? You see this clear? And, I mean, you could see that boost is up. But if we look at this... you can also see that boost is up. So if you grab mid boost instead of... like now you're... removing all your momentum back to your net to grab this boost, then removing most of your momentum again to go for that. Yeah, I think you could have definitely played this differently as well. I think you should have... let me check. Where is it? Right there. I think once you saw that this ball was going to go super far up, like this was going to go into the corner. And I think you should have, at this point, just backed off and been like, well, I'm not getting this. Go back, regroup. So, but then here now, you turn back again, and now you're just like really low momentum. So you're using 35 boost just to recover anyway. And now you get the mid boost as well. So it's pretty much just, you're pretty much just wasting boost at this point. Like, why would you not just grab mid boost? And even if you don't grab mid boost, like you'll still be back earlier than you would be. Right, you can grab like 4 to 6 pads on the way. Yeah, it did look like that. I will admit, but still, like, you just want to get back earlier in this spot, right? Like, there's no... I don't think you should expect your teammates to hold out in that situation when you can get 4 to 6 pads. Plus, if we win a good clear, I have to keep myself downfield. I mean, I guess, right? I'd say you being here... You being here is so much worse than you being here, though, right? Like, if you're in midfield, right now you're so far away that they need a really good clear for you to be useful. If you're down here, the clear doesn't even have to be that good, and you still have the option of being back if you need to be. Yeah, so, I mean, I get why you would go for this boost, but it's greedy, right? It is not the most optimal line. Going back for that middle boost, or even just pads, like 4 to 6 pads will get you to where you need to be. And you'd probably be there before you would be now, because you have momentum as well. So you would have been, but like by the time you got this boost, you could have been at the corner boost and gotten it, right? And that's just, yeah. Yeah, greedy, when I say greedy, I just mean, like, it's not the most optimal line, but it works out for you if they can defend this. Like, if they defend this, you're in a really good spot because you've just taken 2 of their boosts, and now you're back on rotation. Yeah, exactly. He needs to be back quicker and be available. That's kind of my point. I'm not sure if I agree with this rotation, but it's kind of tough because you know that 2 people are up, so you're the last man back. I'm not sure if I realize with how far out, like, in you rotate. Like, look how this is like a near post rotation again. And then, I mean, I get this, like, I get why you do it, but it's just greedy in my opinion. No, I know that Prince needs your support. If he hits that, then you need to be there. But, like, you're going to this corner where you could have just gone to goal instead and be at the far post. Yes, you're waiting, but, I mean, right now, if, you know, something shitty happens, like you don't get the exact touch you need, this could just easily be a goal. Oh, no, I'm agreeing with you. Yeah. And then just rushing out the goal a bit too quickly. This gets red. Turns into a goal. In the area behind him. Oh yeah, okay. I mean, not on the freaking mid boost on the other side. Yeah, no. Agreed. Oh, what the hell? We just went on a different camera all of a sudden. I swear to God I didn't click that button. Alright. So, yeah, general thoughts, even though you're way better than me, definitely a couple moments where you just try to solo. You already said that. Like, there were a couple times where you just tried to solo your offense, or just try to solo things when you didn't need to. Trust your third a lot more. Boost management is a big one. Mostly just pick up pads a lot. Like a couple of times where you missed pads when you could have. A big moment that I now realize was one of those is, let's see. Let me see if I can get you. Right, so even further. So right here. 1 pad, 2 pad, 3 pad. Don't get the boost. So, and then again here you miss a bunch of pads. So 1, you could have turned back more. That's 2, and then you can circle around 3, 4. So you could have had a bit more pads. Now you only pick up 1, and then you get to the ball. And now you're pretty much stuck on this 27 boost the entire time. Miss that pad, miss that pad. Right, so there's a lot of pads that you're missing. So boost management is a small one, but not huge. Just be mindful of which boosts you grab and why. Don't grab, like, for example, don't grab mid boost and then go back to defense. Only grab mid boost if you know, so don't grab mid boost and go back to defense. Grab back boost and then go back to defense. Don't rush. Don't solo your offense, and trust your third. Like, a lot of goals happened because you didn't trust your third, or bad spots where you were under pressure for no reason other than you not trusting your third. So that's a huge one, but that's probably the biggest one, if I'm honest. But other than that, like, I feel like it's a solid game. I think after you guys went down 3-2, you were kind of playing on tilt. Like, not tilt, but you were definitely not playing as well as you were before. A lot of rushed plays, just not as calculated and like organized and communicated. Like, your play was just a bit more disorganized after the 3-2. But overall, like, obviously mechanically still a really solid game, but just, you know, putting yourself in worse and worse position. Yeah, Will started to do the same thing. I'm just gonna call him Will because it's so much easier than W Lil. But yeah, no, this was a game where I felt like it was over as soon as you went down, and you just kind of never recovered. And I'm assuming from the fact that this is game 3, that that this is the last game in the series as well, so that's just kind of really frustrating. Like, this is a really frustrating loss. But yeah, when it comes to, like, you got crushed in game 4. Okay, so it wasn't the last game. But when you're playing on tilt like this, what I find, like, I don't know if you're allowed to in College League, but I've found that usually in tournaments, and this is from speaking from StarCraft, you can usually get a couple minutes to calm down. And I just think, like, usually it's really good if you just take that time. Like, don't be afraid to take the time in between games to just kind of cool down. Like, you know, yell, like, scream a bit or whatever. Like, if it helps you calm down in between games, that's the most important thing, especially in a series. Like, in a series, it's just so much more important to keep your calm and never tilt. Like, you could play garbage all series and win because you never tilt, and your opponent does. So mentality comes into play there. And the biggest thing on mentality in series is just don't get tilted. And if you get tilted, take the time to de-tilt in between games. Like, really abuse that time. Like, there's like a minute in between the game actually ending. Also, if you know that you're never coming back, like, you're just playing like shit in a game, feel free to go, alright, we're not winning this game, let's look towards the next game, and just start de-tilting during that game. But this is just, like, that's only relevant at a tournament level. Tilt will ruin series for you, and it will even ruin, like, single-handedly ruin games or tournaments. But learning how to deal with your tilt as a team is far more important than learning how to play together perfectly, I'd say. I'd say learning to play together is rather important, but you know, you don't, like, working out every single kink is not as important as knowing how to play when you're down or when you're tilting. But yeah, honestly, ask Squishy how he conquered tilt. How did you conquer tilt? Oh, how he conquered tilt. I feel like that's a trap. But to be honest, the way I conquered my tilt in back when I used to play StarCraft is the way I used to do it is you were allowed a 3-minute break in between games if you wanted, and I would just take those 3 minutes, like go outside or like open a window and, like, you know, just not think StarCraft for like 3 minutes. Rote calls in comms help with tilt. I rarely tilt, but I've never played with stakes this high before. Yeah, exactly. Like when stakes are high, that's when tilt sets in even easier. Just like the best thing you can do is think of it as any other game, but just with some money on the line. I guess that sounds really like common sense, but I mean, if you can make yourself think like that, then that's obviously ideal, and that's hard. That's really hard, because obviously when money's on the line, like you can barely, like you can't really sever that from, you know, it being not important. Like once money's on the line, you can't say, oh, this game means nothing, because obviously it means nothing, but it is the best way to deal with it. And then there's tricks just like calming down from tilt. If you can calm down and get a good start in the next game, that's usually a really good sign. Like that tends to help really well with tilt, but that's not always an option. How would I go about sending in a VOD to be helped with? You would have to go to, let me see if I can find the link in chat. Well, if you go to this website, you will go to the Discord channel and you will be able to find one there. When you deal with your team tilting, like dealing with different personalities and being sensitive to their emotional situation, that's where it gets difficult. Are there a lot of replays queued up, or do you need more? So I'm going to answer your question first, Catfin. There are currently no replays queued up, because I'm planning on ending the stream for now. But we will be back tomorrow with more replays, and I'll be back on Friday as well with the same program. I'm just going to take a couple more questions, and then I'm going to end the stream. So going back to you, Wei, yeah, that's a really hard thing to deal with. If I can quickly just one last comment on that, is a really good measurement of when someone is tilting is when they stop talking. And a way that I found to deal with that is force conversation. Keep someone talking, and that way you can have a really good gauge of where they're at like emotionally and mentally. If you keep them talking, even if it's like super casual, they'll usually like stay like in a good mentality as well. Yep. Yeah, I definitely agree. Definitely agree. Agreed. Yeah, it's just a matter of mentality. Keeping people interested is one of the hardest things to do as a team, but if you get it down... What are rote calls? This is something that I just don't know what it is. Rote calls? Let me Google this shit. Oh, mechanical non-subjective stuff like going for boost, back post. Yeah. But I mean, those are things I would expect someone to convey anyway. Like if someone's going for boost or like where they are, for example, like crucial information for others, I just do that all the time anyway. But I mean, but I just mean like stuff like, you know, like nice job, we got this, we can do it, that kind of stuff, like actual mentality boosting comments. As well as just rote calls. I think it's definitely a good rule to have in mind if your team sets the boundary though. Keeping non-subjective information coming from them stops them tilting. Yeah, agreed. Just keep them talking. If they're talking, they're not being emotional. I mean, it will tilt you when you don't believe in it, but like if you just go, you know, if you keep people talking and then every time you score you say, we got this, we can do this, that's when you kind of that's when you know, get emotional traction as well. Someone that just scored and you saying, okay, we got this, they'll, like, if they're still talking and you're still keeping them, you know, vocal, then they'll be fine. If they feel like they're playing badly and everything is going wrong, don't say we got this, but say things like that when things go well. Like if you have really good pressure throughout, like, you know, if you have like a minute of solid pressure and then but you don't score off it, at least be like able to say, okay, that was good pressure, and then move on. Yeah, but I agree with your points completely. Just use rote calls, that's fine. Those are really good. Alright, boys, that said though, we did a good solid 2.5 hours of stream. We'll be back tomorrow with the same thing. Tomorrow I think I'll be doing a mix of 2s, 3s, and maybe a little bit of 1s. I disagree with most of this purely because it requires something good to happen. I mean, you can do rote calls and just be like motivational when something good happens. It's just an additional, like, it's something I would do on top of just general rote calls, but that's because I do rote calls no matter what. Like, I think that's just natural. Someone needs to know whether you're going for boost or not, or whether you're like in the play or going for something. But yeah, we're gonna be back tomorrow with the same thing, probably a little bit earlier than today. What time do you start your stream tomorrow? Not sure yet. I'll be gathering replays from about 4 p.m. I'd say, and I'll go live as soon as I have enough to fill 2+ hours with it. So tomorrow will be on the slightly shorter end, and then Friday we'll be doing a little bit longer. So Friday I'll be looking at 3, maybe 4 hours of replay analysis. And like Kieran said, join the Discord and you'll find out as soon as we go live. But again, if you want your replay analyzed, tomorrow, DM me the replay. Give me the name of the replay and which format plus the rank, and I will try and fit it in tomorrow's session. If it doesn't fit in tomorrow, I will do it on Friday, and then we'll have the tournament on Sunday, and next week I'll be doing 1 or 2 more sessions of replay analysis because this has been getting a really, really good response. I'll slide into your DMs. DM as in file, just DM me the file or the website, either one works. As well as just the rank, the playlist, and the name of the replay in Discord. Alright, so with that said, thank you guys for watching. Thanks Alpha Console for hosting us again. You guys are the real MVPs. and we will be back with this tomorrow, somewhere between 4 and 8 p.m. CEST. Alright. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something. And see you guys tomorrow. Subdivides signing out.